I'm spending my entire life doing one-on-ones at the moment. I think I did 28 or 29 last week, which means I got another 11. Maybe I'll go to 45, but so far another 11 to do this week. So next week we will be back in action. Now my stream's working. There we go. Love to see it. Good morning, Brian. Guess I'll post this now. What a fantastic morning. I mean, the only single thing that didn't happen to plan, which trade I alerted, was calls here going all the way to here. But I still was pretty much out my entire position before the drop because of how weak it flipped. So that was obvious. I did take one red trade personally. I entered calls here. Said I entered, but immediately said I'm not alerting. And I stopped out on this candle. So flawless stop loss. Like the only loss I had today was miniature. So it's a pretty good day. Very happy with it. Can we get analysis on Microsoft? No. Oops. I have other things I need to do right now, such as fill out my journal and potentially get into calls here. I mean, longs. Be quiet for a second while I fill this out. If I did not respond to your DM, that means I didn't see it. By the end of the day, if I didn't respond to your DM, then ping me again. Um, but I'm purposefully not looking at DMs, so they're marked as unread, so I can come back to them. Longs aren't terrible here. I said that top trend line needs to break, and it is. I'm not going to take it though because I'm so concerned about the double fake prophecy. We do have a double top here, which will be a very decent PT. Ideally, if I'm going to go longs, I want it to come up here, pull back, and then validate that pullback. NQ looks a little bit better. I like the size of this candle on NQ, but so I'm gonna say that it's not super high probability yet. We're kind of back into the middle of the range. Now we are chopping down, which is bullish, but we've been chopping down for a while, and the drops have been really large. So I'm not that bullish for this chopping down. I'd say I'm fairly neutral at the moment. Good morning on SPX. It was a very good morning on XPX. Analysis was perfect. Um, I'm going to go short if we pull back. I'm not super. I I don't like that it got all the way to this trend line, tested it. So it's not perfect by any means, but it's a 3 point trend line here. So I'm bullish for that to break eventually. You know, it looks like ES might be weaker than NQ, but NQ's been consistently dropping a lot more than ES, which is why I entered those QQQ puts at the end, and those did very well. I mean, we got 43% to finish off this morning. So I'm watching QQQ puts here, and uh, you know, a 1-to-1 risk to reward would put you about here, which is a little bit below low a day, which is reasonable. But the plan is it gets to low a day, I move my stop to break even, and then I'm gonna shoot for demand. I would like to shoot for these pivots as well, but I'm concerned about this demand. You can see how many bounces we had out of demand. We had a lot. I gotta let candles close, so. And this candle's getting a buying wick, so I for sure will not be entering on this candle unless it just flashes down right now. I gotta wait for one more red candle. It's gotta be about a medium-sized red candle for me to get in. ESO is a possible little bull flag here. You can probably see it on the 15-second. Yes, you can. There you go. So we'll see if it breaks to the upside. Would be nice if it does. And it could go a ways, I guess, because I could see a very fractal inverse head and shoulders on NQ here. Yeah, that's a nice candle there. We can totally get a break to the upside here. Not necessarily fame. I'm just not looking at your question. Hey, Bryce, isn't it good if a low is missed? Wouldn't that mean shorts getting squeezed out if it starts running? I mean, higher lows are a part of a bullish trend, but if we're looking at the low of day, you know, yes, it did sweep a lower low. So yeah, it could totally squeeze, and it is. You know, the bull flag's breaking to the upside on the 15-second chart on ES, but the odds of the trade working out are greater if we also swept this low down here, which means more buy side liquidity was swept, a bigger percentage of the drop was invalidated. Just increases the odds of that. There's a nice little bull flag break to the upside. It's almost like we just called out that bull flag literally 30 seconds ago. Beautiful. But I'm hoping we go down. I would love to take shorts. I think this short setup on NQ, you know, moving stop loss to break even, I think we have a decent chance at actually hitting a huge trade. But it depends. I don't really understand the fundamentals of the market this morning. I don't know why it went from so bullish to just dumping right before market open. I missed something there. Casually sold the bottom on my QQQ puts too. It's very nice to see. It's probably gonna be boring for a little bit, guys. We're right back in the middle of the range, so I don't know if I'm gonna get anything. Yeah, Tab, it did go down so hard before open. That really surprised me, and I don't really know. I don't really know why that is. That double bottom at 60. Wait, 21. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're really next to each other though, so it's not like a major double bottom. Like it doesn't affect my bias or anything. That's a nice trend line break and a sweep of it. You can enter shorts here. You can enter a reversal trade here. It's actually not that bad on ES. I'd rather stick to the high probability trades. Um, I think it has an okay. I think it has like a 20% chance of actually continuing to new low of day, which is not gonna lie, it's pretty tempting on NQ. I may just take a stab at it. I took a stab at it. Very, very tight stop loss. I took a little stab at it. It's whatever. It's just a little too good. I guess I can switch to MNQ so you guys can actually see my trades. Ooh, my broker's not linked, so I guess we're not seeing my trades today, which means I have to be a little bit more disciplined than I normally would. All right, stop loss is going to break even when this hits new low of day. I will set if it hits new low of day. I may have just screwed up and said when, and now the trade may reverse, guys. I may have just screwed up. I didn't knock on wood either. To be completely honest, I forgot about that. But anyways, if it hits new low of day, my stop loss will go to break even. Now, you could sell at new low of day if you want. I mean, it's still a good sized trade. It's 120 ticks, which is a very good, solid green trade, especially if you're trading the 50K funded accounts. But the ES double fake prophecy. I want to see ES new low of day. That's what I want to see. And by the time NQ hits that low, this will be here. You know, it's actually, I don't know if ES is going to get new low of day because it missed this high. If it swept this high, totally 100%. I don't know if ES is going to do it. I mean, it could, but how high are we going to bounce when ES just gets a little bit lower? Because NQ already kind of looks like it wants to bounce. I'm not really sure. And those are two bullish candles on NQ. You got lower lows with buying wicks and you got a volume spike on the last one. But the volume spike on the last one wasn't a huge volume spike and it was a decent sized red candle, so it's not that bullish. It just could be, I guess. I did not document this trade, I just realized that, but it's could drop at any moment. I need to be ready to put my stop. I think I'm just gonna put my stop at break even. If it gets there. If it doesn't get there, then that's easy. I didn't do anything. Looks like those two bullish candles are playing out. Those lower lows of buying wicks are so bad for shorts. Can this be a nice trend line? Not really. Looks like NQ slipping stronger than ES. I mean, every single time it bounced like this, it failed to make a higher high and it came right back down. What are the chances it does that again? You know, I'm kind of thinking it's going to stop out. I move my stop loss down just a hair because if it gets all the way up here, no shot in my mind it doesn't continue. So there you go. Now I have time to journal this trade. Very good entry though. This was a fantastic trade. Glad I ended up pulling the trigger on it. That's bullish. I think I'm going to stop out. think it's going to break to the upside and come back down. I'll give it another try if it comes back down, but that's pretty bullish right there. Now, it could still technically invalidate. You can sell at break even. I do not blame you, but because it still has a chance, I'm not. I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna let it go. Maybe it's for the best. It could be for the best, FEMA. It could be. You know, you missed the entry, but it could be for the best. It's a good discipline practice though, because if you FOMO'd in, you'd have a terrible average, and you would be red right now. And you would have reinforced bad psychology if it goes down. And who knows if you would have honored your stop loss if it went up. It would be a lose-lose. Fat Seal asks, what was your entry criteria for this trade? It was a liquidity trade. That's all it was. Looks like I'm going to stop out, though. We just invalidated that entire drop and invalidating this selling wick. I think it's going to stop out. Oh, it was a fantastic entry, though. What did it get risk reward wise? Yeah, I got 1.5. Well, I moved down my stop loss a little bit, so it got like 1.6 risk reward before reverse. It's pretty good. All right, I'll be back in if it comes back down, hoping for a nice break to the upside, and it actually runs. That way, if it comes back down, it has a pretty good chance of playing out. Second hour price action has begun. Yes, it has. Second hour price action is extremely shitty. Wasn't too bad though. I mean, that it would have been shittier if it just stopped out immediately. There, I hit my stop loss for a very small loss. And that saved me money because it would have hit my original one anyways. So my re-entry will be roughly here. Now leaning bullish for ES to get to this blue line though. I mean, it's a perfect double top. It's not that far away. Like the pivots aren't very far. Um, and not really willing to go long though unless we consolidate. Otherwise, I'm just going to be waiting to re-enter shorts for another bear pennant play today. But I kind of called it. I mean, all day it's been bouncing, missing the lower high, and then reversing. What are the chances it does it again and makes another lower high? It's probably not going to happen. Looks like bullish consolidation on NQ, and ES is no, I meant ES, and NQ is actually stronger than ES, so we can totally go on a run here. It would be nice if I knew the fundamentals of today, but I have no idea what's driving the market, so guess I'll wait and see. That looks pretty good to continue going. I mean, NQ has resistance coming up at 187, but I'm thinking we clear 207. And hell, by that time, ES is going to hit my 6143 PT for my call trade earlier today. I'm gonna hang out on my phone until there's something I can get triggered into. I said I'm not willing to long unless we pull back and invalidate that pullback. I'm not after today's trend. I'm not just gonna jump on the opportunity to long. So I'm gonna hang out on my phone until there's something I can get triggered into. But for now, I'm leaning bullish to 207 on NQ and then 61.43 on ES. If you want to trade it, you can. Jay Bree, let me actually see if you're because I read your message. Well, Jay Bree, I would recommend the mentorship. Um, I would recommend the mentorship if you're having trouble with that. But in reality, the mentorship, if you want to get in, you better DM me today because I'm closing the doors like today. I already hit the 40. I'm pretty much already at the 40 people. I think I'm at like 38 or something. So, and that's it for the year. I said I was going to reopen the doors later this year. It's not going to happen. That's it. I'm not making enough money on the mentorship. Making so little that every person I add to the mentorship is actually worsens my workload for an extra 20 bucks. It's not worth it. So keeping it small this year. It's going to be fantastic though. Cornshare Stonky says it took one contract long and 10 seconds later it liquidated my Apex account. My account says Apex closed your account due to risk violation. That's a glitch. How? Yeah, I don't know. That's a glitch. You should report that. I've taken way more than one contract and one mini at least, and I have never had that happen to me. That's another short trade. Um, I can't take it on this candle though. It's very, that is a nice liquidity sweep. Oh my gosh. I want to hop in, but I also don't. Do you think it's going to get all the way to my entry down here? That's the question. If I do think, I'll enter on this candle. If I don't think that, I won't. My problem is we established kind of a short-term uptrend, whereas the last trade we didn't really actually start being bullish yet. So I was more willing to just hop in the second reverses. Um, Now it's getting a buying wick. I'll sit it out. Could totally be a reversal setup. It's missing the volume spike though. My setup had a volume spike, or it didn't have a volume spike when I entered. It did have the higher high though, but it was like chopping up. This didn't, and has a buying wick, so I'm gonna sit this out. But that is indicative of a potential drop. ES, on the other hand, looks like bullish consolidation. Actually, ES longs do not look bad at all for this high. If you can enter right here, it looks actually really good for that high. It's a very small trade, though. I'm not taking it. Gotta wait for the candle to close. It's already too close to PT. ES looks fantastic. Yeah, see, that was a bait. You gotta wait for your candles to close. I put in that buying wick, and now I would have been stopped out already, pretty much. Can't enter ES now. Now that it made the higher high, even if it pulls back. It's gonna have to pull back a lot for me to get in. It's gonna have to pull back like this. If it does this, then I'll hop in. Do we have anything coming up today that could drive the market? Uh, we have bill auctions at 9:30, so we have bill auctions in 30 minutes. Um, we have, and then we don't have anything else. While I'm trading, at least. Looks like I'm gonna be sitting here for a bit again, so I'm gonna hop on my phone and wait. I can enter longs if we dip and invalidate the dip, as I said. Otherwise, it's looking like I'm gonna enter shorts if we, ideally I'd want us to get to 207. That's why I said I'm bullish too. And then if we come back down, taking shorts to new low of day, that's a very nice trade right there. But ES has come kind of a long way. I don't know if ES is going to be bearish anymore today. I mean, that was pretty heavy demand there. It did sweep a nice pivot. And the trend was up in the beginning. I'm kind of thinking we could run all the way back up. I'm not sure. It's still way too early to tell. I'll be able to tell based on how it reacts with 61.41. If it just kind of breaks it to the upside when we get to here, I'm going to be thinking, okay, we're probably going to run all the way to, which is really high, but I'm totally thinking we can run to this pre-market high because look how flat this top is here. I'm thinking it can totally happen. And it actually looks like NQ is gaining its strength back. So NQ looks great to 207. Now let's mark out these highs. So this is the one I'm bullish for it to get to. And then we have these ones along the way. And I'm still open to potentially entering the shorts if most of this move validates, and then just moving my stop loss to break even if it gets a new low of day, and then just trailing it all the way down. It depends on how it drops, though. Right now, NQ flips stronger, so it looks like NQ is going to squeeze here. It looks like NQ is going to go to 225. It looks really good. I would love to enter long here, but I said I'm committed to waiting for a pullback, so that's what I'm waiting for. Just any test of this strength, honestly. Because I'm really liking it to this high. I'm actually really liking it to 22.25 or just 225. And this is a pretty good stop loss too. I mean, it's even right now at this high, it's a 1.4 risk to reward trade. That is not bad at all. You can take it if you want. If you're also leaning that way, you can. The risk of an inverse head and shoulders is just simply too high. It's not a high enough probability trade just yet. I think it's going to get there. But, with this shoulder being this low, I can so easily stop out at any point on this trade. I need to sit on my hands. Unless you don't really care about the odds of the trade too much. Yeah, Bree, I don't know where you find that. No one else says Trump is speaking at that time. Like tentative Trump speaks. Like, does that mean he just speaks at some point today? No one knows or what? Because it'd be pretty neat if I knew when Trump was speaking as a day trader, but I don't really know. That is bullish on NQ. Look at the way it reacted to this drop, immediately putting in that buying wick. It's very tempting to enter longs early. Wait, hang on. I might do it actually. He has missed that high. All right, if this candle flips green, I'll hop in. Because ES missed this high. And that's what I'm watching right now. All right, if we invalidate this drop on NQ, I'm in there. And we'll see what happens. It is indeed invalidating that drop. Gotta wait for the last 10 seconds though. You know, it's kind of chopping up. It could still pull back, but the thing is, ES looks pretty good to at least get 61.41. And I'm thinking that's going to put NQ pretty close to this high. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to enter. Yeah. All right, I took entry. Where did I fill it? 92.50 is where I filled. Oops. I don't really, I mean, I'm tempted to put the stop loss a little closer. Right now I have it right here at 72. I'm tempted to move it up 10 ticks. We'll see. If we make a higher high right here, I'll move it up an extra 10 ticks. Otherwise, this is a fairly big trade. I just really like ES, a 61.41, and the chance of it actually catalyzing a squeeze for me is just a little bit too high to not be in. It could still put in the inverse head and shoulders, which is the big risk. If it puts in the inverse head and shoulders and actually puts it into its fullest extent, I'm going to stop out. But I think the odds are just a little bit too low, so it's worth me pulling the trigger, but we will see. And ES did put in a double bottom, but it's ES is not moving right now. It's moving like it's overnight now. Looks like volatility is pretty low. Regardless, this is bullish consolidation on ES. The goal of this trade is NQ remains strong while ES hits 61.41. That's the goal. And if that can happen, it's going to look really good to PT because I'm thinking by the time ES breaks 61.41, NQ is going to be roughly here. And if NQ remains strong through and ES doesn't just immediately sweep 61.41, which it could, I think it's going to have a straight shot to VWAP and my PT. See, will ES break this to the upside? That's the question. I also liked the volume spike on this drop, and I like how that invalidated the very next candle, but it looks like NQ's still kind of chopping up. Looks like shorts are entering. They can totally get squeezed out, and that's going to catalyze the rest of the move, but just all depends on how ES reacts with my first blue line here. I want 61.41, and I do not want it to immediately go back down once it hits. There's the pivot I needed to break. And we'll see how that goes when it breaks. There's 61.41. Now NQ needs to hold its strength. I can actually move up my stop loss that little bit that I said I wanted to move it up. It's not going to make a difference. If it comes all the way back down, it's going to hit things anyways. There's my stop loss. It's a much smaller loss. NQ kind of is slightly stronger. They're pretty, I mean, NQ's obviously stronger, but it's not like overwhelmingly stronger on a candle by candle basis. Now, NQ's big pivot is going to be 207. And we'll see what it does if it gets there. I'm going to take a call real quick. Someone be muted. And I'm back. NQ's not being as strong as I wanted it to be. So no matter what, it looks like in order for me to get to my final PT, it's going to need to at least bullishly consolidate. I don't think there's like any chance anymore that it just gets right there unless we just get new buyers that come into the market. And during this time of day, I mean, it could squeeze. I did like the chopping up. There's 207 PT. I said I was bullish for that PT to hit. This candle needs to close without that selling wick. Regardless, good trade again. I mean, both my entries on the two trades that I've took this time were pretty green and solid entries. I need NQ to get rid of that selling wick though. Need to get rid of it or it is not looking good. It is not getting rid of that. That is a confirmed, pretty much confirmed bearish liquidity sweep. But it may not be strong enough. We'll have to see how this candle closes. If this candle closes with a big buying wick or hell even closes green, it's going to be looking really good. What's up, Pioneer? Someone in chat can talk to you, like Dev or whoever can talk to you about that. Really liking that buying wick, but I needed to close with that buying wick on NQ. It's not closing with that buying wick. It did not. It had a tiny one, so looks like at the minimum, it's going to get bullish consolidation here. We'll see. That's a confirmed bearish liquidity sweep, and that is technically a short entry. If you're really feeling shorts, you could enter shorts because that is technically a reversal trade. I hope your reversal trade is right though. That's the reversal trade. That is the result of a bearish liquidity sweep. ES gonna crack the perfect double bottom now. However, if you are in shorts and NQ holds this buying wick, and it did just hold that buying wick, it is not looking good for you. That is actually so bullish. I would have liked ES to break that perfect double bottom. I think NQ could still chop down, but that is so bullish right there. It depends. If we can get a candle to close at or above the high of the first red candle, roughly at my white line, it's going to be looking really good for a short squeeze. But it looks like no matter what, it's going to be a long time before I stop out or hit PT. So I'm going to hang out on my phone because there's nothing to do or say. I'm just going to be watching to see how this candle closes. And if that buying wick invalidates, it looks like we're going to head further down. And ES is going to get 61.37. Looks like ES is still trying to go for that little double bottom there at 61.3750. NQ strength is absolutely phenomenal. This trade will look so good if ES sweeps that low and then actually bounces from that. And if we bounce from that and NQ gets back towards the high of that big selling wick, it'll be looking really good. So that's what I'm watching for to happen. Otherwise, I'm still just kind of hanging out on my phone. This trade's got a long way to go. Now, NQ is also chopping up. Chopping up is bearish, but the longer you chop up, the more bullish it becomes. And it's looking like we may squeeze again. We'll see how he has to sweep this level and bounce. Yeah, Chimkin pretty much said the same thing. Yeah, Krusty, I'll answer your DM in a bit. I'll answer everyone's DMs in a bit. All right, ES swept it. I need ES to put in a bullish sweep and bounce. And then I need NQ to come back up to roughly here. If it's not doing that, then NQ will look good to break this trend line to the downside. And then afterwards, I don't know. It looks like it is breaking that trend line to the downside. NQ did not. That is not a bullish liquidity sweep. It looks like I may actually stop out. That's too big of a break to the downside. Looks like it's going to, if it is bullish, it's going to put in an inverse head and shoulders. It's going to be very hard to avoid my stop loss. I think it's going to end up getting it. Another green to red trade. Can't do anything about it. Very shitty price action during this future session. That was such a bearish drop, guys. It's going to be really hard to come back from that. I think this bounce is going to be temporary, and I think it's going to end up stopping out. It would be an absolute miracle if that doesn't happen. But I don't know what that deal was. That was weird. See how this candle closes. If this candle on NQ closes with a selling wick, it should go back down. It is closing with the selling wick. Let's see if it happens. It's not a bullish candle open. Yep, called it. And that is my stop loss. 2 green to red trades in a row. Both trades were freaking beautiful trades, but price action's not wanting to give me anything. If it goes back up, I'm in longs. Otherwise, I'm watching shorts down here. I would like to get in shorts if it validates a bounce. I'm probably not going to be that lucky, though. And ES is weaker. Actually, guys, I may need to enter ES shorts now. ES is a lot weaker than NQ, and it did invalidate the entirety of this. Yeah. All right, I just got the worst fill ever. Whatever. Kind of have to take it. I'm kind of triggered in, so guess we'll see what happens. Got the worst fill ever. Not happy about that fill. It's not going to make a difference, though. It's not really a good place to put a stop loss either. I wouldn't enter unless this potential reversal candle invalidates. Because it looks like it may perfectly hornswoggle me in. See, options is so fantastic that once the second hour hits, I get absolutely nothing. It's like magic every day. Got the worst average ever. That's so unfortunate. Wait a minute. Why did I only lose 35 bucks on that? Why? What? Oh no, I didn't. It's just broken. Like I said, don't follow this trade unless that reversal candle invalidates. Looks like it's coming for my stop. I don't know if it's gonna. It could head and shoulders, but I don't really know. This price action is pretty shitty. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I think that's valid. This was really good risk reward and a very good trade. This is my first trade that was actually just bread out the gate. But I mean, I'm very triggered in. Got a bearish liquidity sweep and validated a vast majority of the move. The entry candle was extremely bearish with no buying wick whatsoever, just a big red rectangle. I'm willing to try longs one more time if this entire drop invalidates. But other than that, I think there's a good chance I'm just gonna lock in the medium red day because I'm not getting anything. Six. It's a very bullish candle open. I'm thinking NQ may go all the way back up. We'll see. I'll take one more trade. It is going all the way back up. I have to wait for this candle to close, though. I hate waiting for the candle to close, man. It freaking sucks sometimes. But this is very, 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 very bullish. Like, extremely bullish. I mean, I filled it a little bit early. I got a little bit better of an average as a result, but um, back in longs, love to see it. That actually looks so good. Stop loss that here. PT. All right, let's see. If price action goes back down, that would actually be extremely surprising. Like, this would be the worst price action in a while. Like, that would be more than surprising. Now, granted, this whole thing is kind of bearish consolidation, but I guess we'll see. Only barely a 1-to-1, though, which is why I had to enter there. I can't really afford to wait, or else I have to miss the trade. Did NQ make a higher high? Ooh, NQ barely made one higher high, and it swept it perfectly. But it didn't make the higher high. So this trade will even look better if this red candle invalidates, but I don't know. I guess bill auction is starting, and that's kind of moving the market around. It's 9:30 right now, and the 3-month and 6-month bill auction starts, but usually that's not a big deal. Like, that doesn't really move anything. And I feel like that happens like every other day, to be honest. It happened like once or twice last week. I remember seeing it. I feel that NQ flipped weaker than ES, though. It has indeed flipped weaker than ES. Looks like I was hornswoggled. It looks like it's gonna get a stop loss. I'm probably not gonna place another trade. I'm gonna keep it a medium red day and whatever. I don't want to try to chase gains back. I can't trade this price action. It's the only directional it was right here, and I was in a long for most of it, and it ended up missing PT. So not much I can do with that. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit and see where it ends up going, though. It did just perfectly sweep my stop loss. Gonna hang out a bit and see if this ends up going all the way back up. I hope it doesn't, but we'll see. If it does drop, I'm gonna call it a day. Got absolutely nothing this session. I got one predictable move, and I couldn't be in. Well, I was in for a lot of it. We're at enter longs here. Terrible price action today. Absolutely nothing. Looks like it is not coming back up. At least my stop loss did its job. Well, not even. It didn't even get back below my stop loss yet. I do fear it just barely swept it and it could come back up. I don't know what's driving. I guess the 3-month auction is actually, and that's a perfect trend line too. That is indeed a very perfect trend line. The cursed second hour, man. Watch. It just started the third hour, though, so I'm curious to see if price action all of a sudden gets much, much better this third hour. This is a nice trend line, too. That's a nice sweep of a lower low. We it might go all the way back up. It might do it. Can I do anything with this? Not really. That's a nice trend line though. Was looking good to go back up, but this candle opened terrible. I am considering just taking one more trade. Normal size, tight stop, if it gets back to here. That way I at least go out fighting. Kind of what I'm watching for at the moment. I want to see how this acts. Because NQ did just make the lower low. MNQ did not, but NQ did. Oh, that looks pretty good. It's getting a selling wick. All right, if that selling wick invalidates, I'll give it one more chance at a very tight stop loss. It is invalidating that selling wick, but not fully. I don't know. It's getting ready for a break one direction. I don't know which way it's going to break, but it's getting ready for something. So a lot of compression here. Might, might actually break to the downside before it goes up. I don't know. It looks like ES is stronger than the Nasdaq. ES looks pretty decent to squeeze to the upside. I don't know if that strength's gonna last though. That's a nice candle on NQ. Yeah, ES is definitely stronger. ES is a lot stronger. Looks like NQ is going to break to the downside. Is there like a major catalyst that I'm missing today that's causing price action to be awful during this time of day? What's happening tomorrow? Nothing is happening tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. This price action's just done. This could be massive bearish consolidation. I wouldn't say that's super likely though, because the consolidation is a lot bigger than the initial drop. So I would not say that's likely at all. Even if it does come back up, guys, I don't know if I want to take this last trade. It just looks so shitty. Like it's just compressing, and I don't even trust which way it's gonna break. I feel like it's just gonna fake out. All right, here's a downside break on NQ. Let's see how long it lasts. I have no idea where this wants to go. This can go either way. That's why I'm invested right now. I want to know which way it goes. I think NQ is definitely shooting for this level here. I have a hard time believing it's going to be able to sustain an uptrend without sweeping that level. And then ES is completely 50-50. I have no idea what ES wants to do. That worked. That is very unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. I've been there myself, though. And it is not a good time. The last time I did that tight work um, was, you see, I had 10 PAs, all up 5K a piece. Um, and I requested my payout on Apex. And while my payout was being requested and it was pending, I sized down from 1 mini to 5 micros, and I didn't change the chart, so I entered on 5 minis and blew up down whatever 5 times 10 is. Yeah, I lost 50K pretty much. I was not a happy camper when that happened. That wasn't too long ago either. That was at the very end of last summer. I believe that was August ish last year. Because Rakai, I because you need 10 days. By the time that payout is done and paid out, I would only need a few more days of trading to request again. It's a longevity thing. Let's see if NQ breaks to the downside. It's trying to. It's really trying to. It's a lot weaker than ES. Oh, ES looks pretty decent for longs at the moment. I don't think I'm gonna trade, guys. I think I might just lock in my red day. I'll review it, but I don't really think there's anything I could have done different. If I wasn't in longs, I could have taken shorts on this liquidity sweep. It's just unlucky. It got to my first BT, did get to my second, whatever. This trade's pretty hard to avoid. It was incorrect. It just swept and went right back up, but didn't even make a lower low. So this short right here is very difficult to avoid. Broke the 61.8 fib when I entered. No buying with no indication of a reversal. None of that. And then the long right here, I'm going to take this trade every single time. No matter what, I'm taking this trade. It does look like it pretty much did perfectly sweep my stop loss, though. I mean, my stop loss was what? It was like right here. Didn't perfectly sweep it, but it definitely swept it nicely. Now, you could re-enter longs here. The truth is, I'm unwilling to lose on this setup. So I'll leave this here for comparison. I'm just hanging out to see which way this breaks. I'm sure a lot of you guys are still trading too, but yeah, today's price action gave me absolutely nothing. Every trade, though, besides one, was bright green to red, which is very unfortunate. Another selling wick on NQ. Maybe we don't break to the upside. If we do somehow get to the top trend line again, I'm thinking it's very likely to get a squeeze. There are so many shorts in this right now for, I don't know why, but there are. Man, I'm so stuffy too. I've been stuffy for weeks now. That looks pretty damn good for longs, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Oh, looks so good. The morning was great, DH. That is correct. The morning was fantastic. The morning was so freaking easy to trade. Put in a huge selling wick. If that selling wick invalidates, it's going to look pretty damn good for longs. I decided I'm going to give it a shot, and I did. Final trade for real. I'm willing to lose on this now. With the way this candle put in, I'm willing to lose on it. Here's my tight stop loss. There you go. Very small loss if it loses. Don't take it if you're not willing to lose. I'm willing to lose on this. With the way that candle, with the size of that candle, I'm willing to lose on it. Goes 200 flat. That's not even a higher high if you want to sell early, which would be not good psych and a bad risk to reward. You can there, but I don't know. The third hour started. Maybe I'm walking away from millions of dollars in profits because the third hour is gonna, it's gonna come all the way up to here, bullishly consolidate, continue up, or sweep it perfectly, make the world's greatest reversal trade all the way down to here, bounce, and then back down. That's how it goes sometimes, but. Well, that's not good. Looks like NQ just flipped weaker than ES again, too. It was stronger there for a second, but it missed 209.50. So it has a really good chance of continuing if it holds this buying wick. In fact, that is extremely bullish if it holds this buying wick into the candle close and the next candle doesn't immediately wipe it out. Um, but yeah, that's concerning. Was concerning. And it's a pretty decent candle open here, actually. We'll see if it actually stays that way, though. Looks like it's trying to invalidate the buying wick. And NQ is scamming me again. It's way weaker. What the hell is going on? ES is about to be at my PT. Now NQ swept 209. Now this is a hazard. If you want to move your stop to break even, you can. I'm going to let it go. It's my last trade no matter what. But NQ's so freaking weak now for some reason. Let's see if it can squeeze through. It is squeezing through. But it's not stronger than ES yet, which is another selling wick, dude. Oh my gosh. There are so much shorts piling into this right now. This is so terrifying. If this keeps it, honestly, guys, with how many shorts keep piling into this on every candle, even the huge green candle had a huge selling wick at one point. Honestly, if we get to my PT, it's going to keep going. I give it a solid 75% chance it's going to keep going. There are way too many shorts in this right now, way too many shorts to squeeze out. Um, but the chances of it getting to this PT dropped a lot. ES is moving so much nicer than NQ right now. Let me compare. NQ, I'm only up X amount. If I entered ES, would I be up more? No, I would not. I would not be up more if I were in ES. So ES is moving nicer, but it's moving less. So if NQ ends up hitting PT, it's actually better that I entered NQ. Because if I entered ES, well, first off, my entry would be roughly here. Yeah, they're about the same, actually. I think NQ is a little bit more. But an equivalent PT distance for ES is all the way up here. ES would have the better risk to reward, though. I'll leave this up for comparison. It's trying to put in a bearish sweep again. And see if it holds. That is a bearish sweep. It's looking like it may hold. Yeah, we need a huge buying wick to come in if it's gonna squeeze them out. So many shorts are getting in on NQ. It's a big problem. Gold is trading awesome this morning. Well, let's take a look at the chart and see if I'm jealous or not. I am jealous. That is very nice. Oh my gosh. Even during the pullback, there's a perfect bear flag. You're correct, Stonky. That is awesome. NQ finished with a really big buying wick. That's good if it holds. Gold is just so bullish lately. I mean, it's gold will easily be over 3,000 an ounce, easily. And silver, the silver to gold ratio has never been worse, like for silver. So silver is very undervalued at the moment. What's the chart for silver to gold ratio? Gold ratio. Oh, I did not mean to look that up actually. Psi. So I mean, and then you just hide all my indicators real quick. This isn't the right chart. This chart doesn't do anything for me. Actually, yes, it does do something for me. I just zoomed out. Yeah, look at this. Look at the ratio, guys. Actually, there we go. Yeah, the gold to silver ratio is 90. Wow. Yeah, whenever it's above, like whenever silver or gold is above like 85, that's when you sell your gold and buy silver. Yeah, I guess it would be time to do that. Well, NQ made a higher high with a selling wick, which I really don't like, and came back down. Yeah, how do I fix my chart? Okay, get out of here. Looks like it's trying to bearishly sweep again. That is a very bearish sweep on ES. This trade may be over, folks. Once again, green to red trade. Yeah, yeah, it looks over. You love to see it. You love to see it. Looks like NQ is still a little bit better, though. It's a little bit stronger, but man, it's like, what are you gonna do, dude? Every trade besides one has been like great entry, move the right direction for multiple candles, and then out of nowhere, boom, done. It's over. Now, if somehow, some way, I get extremely lucky and that big red candle invalidates, which I'm gonna be a pessimist. I'm not gonna believe it's going to because I don't want to get my hopes up just for them to get crushed again. But if it doesn't validate that entire red candle, that is going to be looking insanely bullish, especially because NQ is stronger than ES now. Under Trump was easier. It has been easier in the first hour. The second hour has been the same so far. The second hour has been the same. I don't like trading. I'm probably gonna stop trading this time of day. I'm about like 2 weeks away from because I'm still rocking. Like I'm back. So the first few weeks of January, I was at like an 85% win rate futures trading this time of day. Now I'm back to like 50. You know, like today, not a single green trade. Now, granted, a couple days ago I only had green trades, but um, yeah, it's just probably just gonna stop trading this time of day. Looks like the trade is over. Looks bearish. Well, it was fun. It was fun, and it almost got to PT. Got more than halfway there. Yeah. It did clear the 1-to-1 risk to reward too. Like almost every other trade did. Gosh, that is bearish, guys. It's gonna I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm gonna leave my stop loss. You could sell it break even if you want to. I'm risking such a small loss anyways, and because this is my last trade, no matter what, God forbid, if I sell right now and it does go back up, I'm not gonna be happy. So I'd rather just leave it and see what happens. But that is a textbook bearish liquidity sweep. That is not bullish right there at all. Wow, that is so bearish. Told you guys so many shorts were entering, but you know, it's impossible to know whether it's gonna squeeze or it's gonna dump, and it looks like shorts won the battle. All right, folks, that is it. I gave it a valid try. Every single trade was green to red except one trade. Didn't get absolutely nothing. I don't know if the market's actually going to go down now. I don't know what it wants to do. It squeezed so hard right here. It dumped so hard here, squeezed so hard, dumped so hard, squeezed so hard. Now it's dumping really hard. There's no point trying to try to guess where it's go. TA isn't really applying much at the moment. But all right, well, good luck if you continue trading. I will see you later. Again, not doing any events or anything. It's pretty much just one-on-ones lately. This is the last week of that, though. And I'll answer you guys' DMs in probably a couple hours. All right. I will see you guys later.